Our next guest tonight went 14-2 as BYU starting quarterback, selected in the 5th round of the 2002 NFL Draft by the 49ers. With the NFL Draft later this week, we're happy to welcome Brandon Doman back to the Wise Guys tonight. Brandon, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be with you.
Byron Rex was just our guest, and he was bummed to find out that you were following him because then he had to compete with you. But we're glad to have you.
I didn't know I was going to be fortunate to have Brian Logan on the show here tonight.
Coach, are you at church right now? I haven't seen you. You know,
he's got a lot of things going on.
The last time I seen you with a tie on and the shirt was boarding the plane, going to play somebody. So,
Game day.
You know, I say this to a lot of people. I don't know if I ever told you this personally, but you hands down my favorite coach.
Man.
Hands down. I don't believe I said that to you personally, but you have always been my favorite coach. And the reason why is because of how animated you were and when anybody made a play. And what stood out to me was that I would make a play, let's say it was third down, big third down. We get off the field, and he's the first person to come and chest bump me.
No kidding.
He's the offensive coach, you know. And he would do that with anybody, right? And what that showed me was he really loves the game and how passionate he was. And I remember a couple of times you'd come over to me and be like, yo, pick these guys up, you know, make a play, get excited. And again, hearing that from you, I'd be like, oh, okay, this is somebody who's passionate. He's telling me I got to bring the passion.
Brandon, is any of that true? Is any of that recounting true?
I mean, you know, I want to believe that Brian's telling the truth for sure. So, Brian, you're my favorite player, without question. So there you go, right back at you, brother.
You didn't have to say that because I said it to you.
It's like a love fest.
Listen, Brian. Brian was so fun to be around because he just had this infectious smile, which you can see when he smiles, and then he just was he was so fun to be around and an absolute competitor, and we had some great times. Those were really, really, really fun times. And I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean it genuinely.
Former BYU and San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brandon Doman on the Wise Guys, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. What do you foresee ahead this weekend for Jaron Hall?
I think he's going to have a great weekend. He's not in the first handful of picks, so it's going to be really interesting to see when he goes. There's a frenzy on the first handful of picks, and they go quick. And then once those go quick, then the teams start trying to posture themselves and get a quarterback as late as they can. So I think Jaron is my opinion, he's a first 3-round guy. But the most important thing for him isn't when he goes in the draft. It's going to be who picks him and what opportunity is there. Who's the starting quarterback? Who does he get to learn from? What staff is in that locker room? And there's so many variables to be successful. So it'd be really interesting to see what opportunities he gets.
Do you think, is there a team out there you think he would fit, or is it just so convoluted now that unless it's someone that doesn't have a Hall of Famer behind the center, it seems like every job is open?
There's so many good coaches right now, so many offenses. The game has changed, and it fits him perfectly. I wish I was coming out right now because of just the changes that have happened. It fit my personality and my playing style more today than it did back then. And Jaron, he fits beautifully into what the teams are doing. He, you know, if you could wave a magic wand, you would want to go be a backup quarterback to one of the top 5 quarterbacks if you could do that. And whoever gets to be a Patrick Mahomes backup, and whoever gets to play with Andy Reid, it has the pick of the litter. It's just the greatest opportunity. I thought there might have been a chance that Kansas City would have made a couple trades to get Zach Wilson to come in because it was a good fit.
Yeah,
I think Jaron's a good fit in that environment, but I think there's 5 or 6 teams like that would be good for him.
If you could give Jaron some advice based off of your experience, what would you tell him right now?
Be ferocious. Have confidence. Just like you said in that Oklahoma game. Don't question how good you are and don't question your abilities. Go in there with a ferocious, tenacious mentality. Don't take no for an answer. Compete like crazy and have an expectation to be the very best because they don't care. Everybody's there to get everyone's there to get a paycheck, and you have to have a ferocious mindset or they'll eat you alive and get rid of you quickly. And if he doesn't go in there with that mindset, it doesn't matter how good he is. And if I could go back and do it again, I competed like crazy, but I don't know that I was as ferocious as I should have been or could have been in those competitive situations. And I don't think I had the confidence that I probably could have had or should have had. And he's played two good, solid years and even more than that. So he should not look over his shoulder and just go compete like crazy.
Brandon Doman on the Wise Guys tonight. He helped Lavelle Edwards win his final home game against New Mexico, his final road game against Utah, and he won Gary Croton's first 12 games in 2001. In what ways can Zach Wilson benefit from Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets?
Everybody has their own journey that they go on as a quarterback, and this will dictate his career for sure. Everybody was ready to run Steve Young out of there in Tampa Bay. He just wasn't. Everyone thought that he was a product of the system at BYU and just was never going to be an NFL guy. And 49ers pick him up, and he gets to sit behind the Joe Montana. And who right now has a better pedigree or a better history of success in the NFL right now than Aaron Rodgers? So this has the potential of being the greatest thing that happened to Zach Wilson, to watch this guy do what he does, learn as much as you can from him. He needs to regain, the locker room the best he can, and that's going to come from just his work ethic and his humility and his ability to do what he needs to do. But if he'll learn what he needs to learn from Aaron in a short window, let's call it 2-3 years, probably maximum, and he's not 10 times better like Steve was, then he may not last very long in this league. But I suspect he's going to learn what he needs to and have another shot at it. And when he does, I think he's going to be really good.
Do you think this move was strategic as far as, hey, we kind of stuck from the Jets' perspective, we're kind of stuck with Zach. Obviously, he may not be the most marketable, person right now from what happened.
Yep.
And so this is a way where, hey, we can bring somebody in, we can win right now with our roster, and then let's just deal with Zach when the time comes. Or do you think this was the other side of let's also bring somebody in that can win right now, but also maybe nurture and help him grow?
I think it's the latter. Yeah, they can't win with Zach right now. They know what they've got in him. And by bringing Aaron in and giving themselves a chance to win immediately, they have kind of a double win here where they can get a really talented young quarterback prepared to play when Aaron's done. And I'm sure that that's the thought process here.
A couple more minutes. Speaking of quarterbacks, tonight you're ready to reveal to the world your top 5 quarterbacks in NFL history. 5-1. Starting with number 5, going to number 1. And let's start with number 5. Who do you got?
Well, I thought about this, and I did not think about it before I came in. You've got me on the spot. Maybe I'll do my best to give you my top 5. But I do think that when I looked at it, the guys that have won the most or have had the most success or have the most trophies,
okay,
I would pick. So Joe Montana.
Is that number 1? Is Joe Montana your number 1? Or you?
I would pick Joe Montana number 1 because he's just my favorite guy.
Okay.
And I've got Tom Brady up there. I've got Brett Favre up there. and I've got Steve Young up there, and I've got Patrick Mahomes. Those are my 5 top players. So
Patrick Mahomes,
Patrick Mahomes, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and who did I say? I think I said 5 there.
Yeah, Mahomes, Young, Favre, Brady, and Montana. As a Cowboy fan, there was no spot for Roger Staubach in there? Nothing.
No Roger Staubach. I had a hard time putting Tom Brady in there because he's slow.
Really? Well, who would you bounce him out for? Who was like number 6?
I don't know. I love John Elway. Loved him. Love the way he played.
A lot of people would just put Brady number 1 because of the trophies.
Because of the rings, yeah.
And then maybe argue Montana. But you're going Montana.
Yeah. I think Tom Brady arguably is the GOAT, but if I were choosing today, I would still choose Joe Montana over him.
So people bring up this argument a lot when it comes to LeBron and Jordan. They'll try to say, well, it's 2 different eras, right? And 2 different styles of play. The game was just different. Do you take that in consideration when you are listing the top 5?
Without question. That's what I want to know, would that guy, how successful that guy be in the modern era, because the athletes now are so unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Montana would be even better. I think he would have been better. And Tom Brady, I think, would have been great in both eras as well. And then the other guys, I think, are just unbelievable in the way they played the game, from Brett Favre and Patrick Mahomes. They just have some unbelievable skills and abilities. And then Steve, from a willed, grit, determination to be great. He just made himself great by his focus and the way that he went about it. And then he had the ability.
Yeah.
Are you pretty sure none of those guys could run the triple option like you, though?
No way. You kidding me?
They all have their spots, but you had to do all that. It was like a magician.
Yeah. There's no way. Yeah. There's probably 4 of the 5 that could have, but I don't know that Tom Brady could. But the other guys probably have been awesome at it.
Let's finish with this. And were you surprised a little bit? You didn't play a lot in the alumni game, which surprised me. And John Beck came up and hogged most of the game time. But I don't think you threw an incompletion. I thought you were zinging it. I talked to you for just a minute after the game while you were out signing autographs and giving hugs and stuff. But your arm was you still got it.
Man, I'm so nervous going into that, thinking, can I throw a spiral? My second throw in warm-ups, I kid you not, my second throw in warm-ups went 5 feet over the receiver's head. He was 10 yards away from me. So I was like, this is not going to be pretty. So the fact that I even able to complete passes was a massive win for me.
Hey, you marched him right down and scored a touchdown. Led BYU to a second consecutive Navy championship. So
it feels good to be 2-0.
Hey, thanks for your time tonight.
Hey, thank you guys. Great job. Have a great night.
Appreciate your insight, as draft weekend is just a couple of days away for another BYU quarterback. And it was great to go down memory lane, even if you were in the kitchen. I did not know that you were in the kitchen that night.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brandon. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Coach. Love you.
See you later, guys. Take care. Love you too, brother.
The great Brandon Doman. How about